Hi, and welcome to this guide in how to test other developers' games and some of the feedbacks that you want to give, right? So first is the technical and the practical thing. How do I actually record the screen so that I can speak out loud and I can explain what it is that I feel and that I see while I'm playing the game. This is typically very useful for the game designer to see someone actually play the game and see how they click and click wrong and don't understand things, right? Number one, you find the game that you want to test. I use itch, but you can also go on Reddit and other places, Game Jolt. There's a lot of places where you can find games to test. Then you download it. And so here's the thing, typically with Unity games, I'll quickly, but also with others, if the game kind of have an exe file and you want it not to play in full screen, because that's easier when you want to record, you add a bat file, right? So for those of you who are as old as I am and back to the good old DOS days, that's how you would open and run things. If you wanted some extra parameters on. All right, so I'm just going to copy a line and I'll put that in the description of the YouTube video here. But to begin with, we just say, well, we want to run the bunny bunker.exe, and that's a capital B. So let's just make sure. And then you add screen, full screen 0, screen height, and then screen width. And you can set this as you want. But this this creates a none. So I save this, close this one, and now when I run the game, you'll see that it kind of isn't full screen. Right. So now we want to record the session, right? So we now find snipping tool. This is an easy way. You make sure that you select the record one, create new, and then you can simply just do like this. You can adjust it if you're nitpicky. Obviously not. And then you can add the recording if you want. And so undo mute, and then turn off the system sounds, like the sounds of the game, so that they don't overrule the stuff that you say, because what you say is more important than the sound of the game, right? And then you simply just start. So wait for the countdown, and then we start playing, right? So this is the prototype. You see that it's like there's stuff missing. So when you're testing the game, so there's a method called think out loud, which means that immediately when you think stuff and you feel stuff in the game, then you say it out loud. Like, I don't understand this, or this doesn't make sense, or this was easy and nice. So you just think directly what it is that it's like you try to explain what it is that you're thinking. And then you can go to an analytic part of the game, which have 5 questions you can ask yourself. Like, these are just questions I made up, but you can there's like, you can ask about the core loop, and there's a million things that you can ask yourself. But I find these really, really good questions to ask yourself when testing a game. So number one is it predictable? Like, did I understand both in the past and in the future? Did I understand what just happened? And do I understand what's going to happen when I do stuff, right? So that's predictability. Can I predict what the different things and functionalities of the game does? That's important for a good game, that everything is predictable. I understand what's going on. Then consistency. Does everything work in the same way? So for example, if I add rabbits to the rocks, then they will find themselves. If I add rabbits to here, maybe that's inconsistent. It says warrior bunny, but I don't know what a warrior bunny is. So maybe this is not the best design in the world. That's something maybe I should look at. Instant feedback. That's a third question. It's like, does the action happen immediately when I'm doing stuff, right? This is very important then, that the game tells me, it's like gives me feedback on the actions that I'm doing, right? And then easy but deep. Easy but deep means it's easy to learn stuff, but the ways that I can combine and use the game is deep, right? So chess is a good example, very easy to learn, but the ways that I can combine and do things is really, good and deep, right? So it's not really that complex or complicated, but yeah, so it's not complicated, but it's very complex in the end, right? And then the last one, autonomy. Like, am I free to play the game? Am I controlling the game? Am I playing the game, or is the game playing me? That's basically it, right? So you really want to be playing the game and controlling the game and feel in charge as a player. If you don't, that's a sign that there's something wrong with the game mechanic. All right, so in the end, you can stop the recording here, and then you'll have it, and you can see your own recording. I'm not going to play it back because then we're going to hear my own voice twice. And then once you've done or completed that, save it and then upload it. And there's like sites like WeTransfer, as an example. WeTransfer, you can upload stuff there. You can also add it to YouTube or directly add it to your Google Drive and then make a link from there. So there's a million ways that you can kind of set things up and share that. I think YouTube is free and open and should be pretty easy for you to do. So, and then you just share it in the post on itch, Reddit, Games Jolt, wherever you kind of find games that you want to test, and you have no idea what that means to a game developer. So thank you very much for listening, and I'm going to test some games now.